Metaphiles. Metaphiles.
Hey, it's Metaphiles. That's Jay, I'm Zach, podcast that talks to you. And it's time for us to confess something. When we started this show, it's true that we just kind of wanted to be cool, and it was almost like a joke to us. But you know, over all these episodes and all these weeks, and something happened, and we fell in love with you.
It's true.
And now we're in love with you.
Yeah.
And this week we're talking about New York City.
I heart our listeners.
Yeah. It started off as a prank, a bet.
Can we get people to actually watch this shit? Or,
Yeah.
You know, what can we get people to watch?
Yeah. But then something happened when you started, like, letting your hair down in the comment section. And we realized how beautiful you really are.
You're beautiful.
You're so beautiful. And now we're in love with you. And we want to take you to a dance.
I mean, I'm in love with you, but I don't know about all that.
Oh, I'm in love with you. I want to take you to a dance. And dance with you. Slow dance.
Yeah.
Jay, do you like New York City?
I've never been to New York City in my fucking life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like it from the outside?
Conceptually, secondhand, ethereally, theoretically, hypothetically,
Hypotenusally.
hypotenusally. This is a shithole. I hate it. No. No, I'm, you know, it's about as much as I can say about it is I love Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And obviously that's a borderline documentary about New York, right? Also, like How To with John Wilson. That's a New York documentary, legitimately.
Yes.
So
Quite so. And you'll be watching How To with John Wilson and see some footage he took of, like, sewage water going down into a drain and think, wow, New York.
New York. It just evokes that feeling, yeah. Yeah, no, he gets that gritty shit. That gritty shit in New York City. New York gritty.
And
I just came up with that.
Oh.
All right, I claim it. No, yeah, that's. I mean, I've never been.
So, you see the movies, you see the television, you see...
They sell this whole image of New
Yes.
York.
My parents took me to see New York City
Ooh,
when I was about 15 years old.
what did you do? Like, why did they do that to you?
To visit, just to see
Nah,
it.
it's cool.
Just to see it. And I had just gotten my first video camera, and I was much like a little John Wilson. I was just filming everything.
Nice.
And going there at 15,
That's
and then I
fun.
went back when I was 25-ish. Maybe one time. Oh, there was one time in between too.
Uh-huh.
All three times, you cross that Scarborough Bridge. Not a real bridge. And you're in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like you're in goddamn New York City right away.
That's cool.
It's everything that promised you.
Mm.
And if you went there tomorrow, you'd be like, New York City. Immediately, you would. You have got pigeons taking a shit on a rat. Who's taking a shit on a smaller pigeon? It's right there. And nobody even cares because they're used to these guys.
It's a rat pigeon shit stack, just like New York City is I've heard of.
Just like I was promised.
Wow.
By Martin Scorsese. It really is like that. It's a great fucking vibe if you want it to feel like
go.
New York City.
Oh, I want to feel New York City all over.
You would. You'd be covered in the slime that is NYC from the moment you cross that oregano bridge. Not a real bridge.
No, traffic's going to be terrible. You got to take the oregano bridge.
And everybody that is there talks like that.
Oh.
Every single man, woman, and child.
The child's first words are, Mommy, Daddy, pizza.
Yeah. You will often hear a conversation as you're walking down Fifth Avenue that goes like this. Honey, did you buy the pizza, the breakfast pizza for tomorrow? What do you think, I forgot to buy the breakfast pizza? Hey, Mom and Dad, can we have breakfast pizza for dinner tomorrow? For tonight, for breakfast for dinner tonight? Oh! I'm so proud of you.
Breakfast for dinner, pizza?
We're so proud of you, both of us.
That's what you heard in New York City.
I heard it. Yes.
Okay. Really, I mean, to be honest, the most enlightening and revealing thing as that taught me about New York the most was the Pace Picante commercial about all the cowboys that try Pace Picante salsa and they discover it's actually made in New York City and they go, New York City?
Yeah. So this is a commercial I've only heard of.
Oh.
But I've heard of it a lot. And
Let's have it on the fact too.
Yeah. We'll have
I just
Oh no.
they're okay.
Still eating pizza covered in Pace Picante.
Jesus. The Pace Picante's everywhere. There we go.
Made in New York City? New York City? Get a rope.
That'll evoke some memories in our beloved viewers.
You got your Pace Picante on my pizza pie. You got your pizza pie on my Pace Picante. Salsa pizza. That's the son.
Uh-huh.
He's a very smart boy. In case you
Yeah.
haven't picked up on that.
He sounds like a 40-year-old cab driver.
Well, they all did.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But the premise of that commercial is that the Texans, the Cowboys,
Yeah.
were like, Mexican people live in New York City? They couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And inversely, if you can switch it around and have like New York people eating a New York slice, learning that it's from Houston, Texas, and they could be like, Houston, Texas.
Italian people live in Texas?
This is from Houston.
That is honestly more surprising.
Interesting.
If you're going to compare the two. I believe Italian people can live wherever they want.
I believe Italian people should be kept in containment zones. So
Well, and we'll be right back.
there should be camps made for Italian people.
And we'll be,
go there and not be able to leave.
and another thing about New York City that's very interesting is all the subway station sandwiches that you can get there.
No, I mean, hoagie joke aside,
Yes.
we're full of hoagie jokes.
Yep.
But it would be fucking cool to be able to be like, I'm going to go to the other side of this giant-ass city. Let me just walk down and underground, get into this tube full of people, and just, tolerate them for 15 to 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, probably
and get where I'm going.
Probably see a penis.
Sure. Well, I mean, that's... yeah.
But yeah,
A few rat pigeon shit stacks, maybe even.
One hopes.
Yeah.
Here's my dream of living in New York City. I know you'll appreciate this about New York City. It's a walking city.
Oh, yeah. See, that really is so fucking appealing.
Here's my dream if I ever lived in New York City.
Go ahead.
Winter is coming. I need a new coat. I get up one day, it's my day off. I make enough money that I can have a day off.
In New York?
Yes.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
A whole day.
I have my whole day ahead of me.
A whole day. Okay.
It's coat day.
Coat day.
I get up, I walk outside. I walk around until I see somebody wearing a coat that I like. I mug them, take their coat. No.
Beautiful utopia.
No. I go to them. I say, hey.
Where's the coat from?
No. Not that.
Oh.
You're thinking like a...
Hey, I'm just a simple Southern boy.
You're talking like a real yokel right now.
Yeah, I'm just a yokel from the South. I don't know.
You don't ask them, where'd you get that coat? That's not New York question. New York. The way to ask that question in New York is, hey, you got a nice coat on? Where do I get the best coat in New York City?
Okay.
I need the best coat in the city. This
Okay.
person says, oh, you gotta go down to
I see.
blah, blah, blah. See Sal. Get on the subway. Go in that general direction. Get close to Sal's.
Get off the subway, say, where's Sal? Has anybody seen Sal?
Sal! But I don't go to Sal's right away, Jay. It's only 3 o'clock.
Huh.
I woke up around 1. I make a living.
Yeah, that's a city that never sleeps.
I go close by Sal's. I look around again. I wait to see another good coat. I say, hey, what's the best coat in New York City? If they don't say Sal's, even though I'm not close to Sal's, then Sal's is not the best coat in New York City. Repeat.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day,
It better be a damn good coat that you end up with.
it's going to be the best coat in New York City. Because I'm going to have put the work in. And the walking in. And the subway fares in. I'll have taken the city seriously. That's my dream.
Word.
Then when summer comes around, I'm fucked. I got nothing.
Well, then you just crack open a fire hydrant, apparently.
Yeah. I'll do that and let it wash me down into where the rats and the mole people live. Like, hey, where's the best place to get a bite down in mole people's city?
Where's the best shit stack in New York? So, one thing...
Well, come right this way.
There it is.
Then I ask another person, is that the best shit set?
Like, no. Nah.
Nah, right this way. That guy, he's a fucking idiot.
That's a really good shit stack voice of a shit stack connoisseur. I actually watched Midnight Cowboy for the first time a few days ago. Very good fucking movie.
The origin of the classic New York line, I'm walking around. It doesn't get more than that.
You're in my way. Yeah, you know what? I never liked Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
Until that. I really disliked him until I saw Midnight Cowboy, and I was like, holy shit.
You got here just in time. Everybody's a big fan of that guy these days. So,
I know. I know.
Welcome. Welcome to the best
Everything
year
else
of
I'd
your
seen
life.
him in, I was just like, whatever. I don't get it.
No, he also...
Anyways.
Yeah.
I want to say before we get out of New York and Us, I don't like how New Yorkers base their whole identity off of being from New York.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, from New York. What? Like, and everything, you know, seemingly, they just always got to bring it up, and it's always like their biggest thing. And it's like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I just want to say it. I don't have to say anything else about it.
Have you ever tried being like, hey, I'm from close to Tampa. In my town, close to Tampa? Nah.
Nobody gives a shit. Nobody should.
Try it. You might like it.
Nah. I've mentioned too many times, maybe too many times, that I'm from Florida on this podcast. So I'm in danger of being guilty of. But I'm telling you, New Yorkers really pour it on with that shit.
No, they do. I know it. I've seen it. But I'm going to be like, oh man, I'm going to be like a non-Floridian. I saw the coolest alligator yesterday. What?
Oh, you saw an alligator?
Yeah, it was the coolest alligator ever.
Why don't you get back on a plane and I don't know why I'm still. Let me put on my. Why don't you get back on a plane and go back to fucking New York City?
Classic Florida accent.
Oh yeah.
I'm not from New York City.
This
I'm
state,
from where people who sound like with this voice come from.
California. This state would eat you alive. Literally, the animals will.
I would
That's what I
love
would say.
for
It's
an
like a
alligator
New
to
York
eat
joke.
me alive.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. Okay, we're done with that character, obviously.
We're done with all of it.
Yeah.
Welcome to Leia Playas.
Oh, damn.
This is the part of the podcast where I pitch a podcast idea that might be better than this podcast, potentially. And I think a great podcast idea would be it would be based around the guests. Maybe there would have to be multiple guests, like quite a few multiple guests, really. And it'd be called America's Got Acapella.
Okay.
Welcome to America's Got Acapella, the podcast where we review contestants. They come up on stage and give their best acapella performances of all of our favorite top 40 hit songs.
You're crazy, Jay.
And we say who wins. Our first contestant, hopefully with a recognizable popular song. That was not acapella.
Jay, come on.
Our first contestant is Zach.
Hey, hey,
The crowd goes wild.
hey. Do I start?
What's your acapella? You better start. The judges are waiting.
I don't wanna wait for our lives to be over. I need to know right now.
This is the buzzer. That's gonna be use that one.
No.
It's acapella isn't. Well, okay.
Tell them what it is, Jay. Yeah.
Maybe I should specify like instrumental acapella.
Specify, Jay.
So not the singing parts. You have to do. I really fucked up the introduction to the show. I apologize to everybody out there. It's not acapella in the words. It's acapella instrumentally, strictly. That's America's Got instrumental acapella.
Bring up the next contestant, Jay. You're losing them.
Yeah, you're right. The next contestant is still Zach.
Oh.
Instrumental
I
acapella.
bounced back completely since my last time on stage.
Well, you got. It was really my fault for not explaining it correctly.
Okay.
It sounds very good. This isn't a song. This isn't an actual song. What song is it? What song is it? Okay.
It was Stairway to Heaven, Jay.
If I recognized it, it would. That's like the point. That's the point of the shit. The audience and everybody else.
I bet
That's
most
the point of-
people go.
That's the point of the show. Is like, it has to be recognizable as an instrumental a cappella performance. If it's not recognizable, you lose automatically.
Give him another chance, Jay, or a different person, whatever. I'm about to be fired too. We're all looking at
Who is this person?
I'm your co-host, baby. We're all
Okay,
gonna
another
lose our
chance.
jobs.
Stop talking. Another chance. One more chance for Zach. A cappella, instrumental, different song. Wow. Excellent performance. Wow. We're also going to put the entire performance on this part of the factory.
Did I win?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be enough. I think that should be about it, really. Thanks for playing. Our winner tonight is Zach, and that was America's Got Acapella instrumental version.
I'm gonna get a record deal. Bye.
Think about it. Wait. Bye. Okay. Think about it. That's the idea. That'd be pretty cool, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we could there was a lot of
they were working
shit
out
happening
they
there.
were working out the kinks, clearly. But yeah, I'd watch somebody go up and make mouth guitar noises for 40 minutes a week. For sure.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'd buy all the products that were advertised in between.
Oh, that's good. You're a model citizen.
Well, please, don't go catch that plane. We'll be right back. We're back. Don't get on that plane. If you get on that plane to New York City, you're going to regret it. We love you. We want to take you to the dance.
You can get on that plane if you want, but when you do, just know one thing. Nobody's ever going to make you happy or want to make you happy as much as me. The podcast
us.
co-host of
Yeah.
us. The two hosts of the Metaphiles. So you can get on that plane, you can go and try to find another podcast. Anyways, what facts do you got?
Alright, it's New York City in the world. Or more specifically today, New York City.
It's one big apple.
Yes, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So, real quick, early history of New York City. people lived there for a really long time. Then some other people who were French came and lived there, and they called it something. And then some people from Portugal came, and they called it something. Then English people came, and then Dutch people came, and then English people came again. And then the Revolutionary War happened, and then the Civil War happened, and then the Statue of Liberty happened, and then there's a place called Brooklyn. Okay, all that.
Where'd the pizza come in?
Pizza happened at some point. We're skipping all that stuff. There's too much else to cover.
Yeah, I'm down.
Real quick, here's some nicknames of New York City.
The big shit.
It is sometimes known as the capital of the world, the center of the universe, the Big Apple.
A little conceited.
Just a little bit. The Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, Apple City, Wake Up City. Wake up, it's time for Apple City. The city that always sleeps with apples. Apple Sleepers Paradise. Paradise City by Guns N' Roses City. And the city where we literally fuck apples City. Those are some nicknames from New York.
I didn't know about a few of those. That's
A couple
cool.
of them get used more than others.
Uh-huh.
So, that's anytime we use any of those names, we're referring to the same place. Okay?
Word.
So all that other stuff happened, and then we're kind of just going to go through like some random interesting stuff that's happened in New York City throughout the years, because it's a pretty interesting place. And these are just sort of random by year or approximately. In 1903, Thomas Edison filmed himself in New York City electrocuting an elephant to death to prove that Tesla was not as smart as him.
Yo, I just got back from the craziest trip. I went to the city that fucks apples, saw Thomas Jefferson electrocute an elephant to death.
Then a mole person told me where the best taco was.
You know they got pigeons shit on rats, shit on smaller pigeons up there?
And the salsa. You would not believe. They have some.
I swear.
So then, whole, like, the 10s and the 20s and stuff happens. People are walking around, they're having all kinds of different experiences and stuff. Jazz gets really popular in New York City for a time. There's in 1933, this giant gorilla showed up. In 1945, this newspaper magnate died, and it was a whole thing. In 1947, this little girl claimed that she met the real Santa Claus on the street, and everybody freaked out about it. Throughout the 50s, there's a lot of crime, there's lots of detectives. In 1961, there's like a real spike in gang activity in New York City, and they're all dancing and they're snapping their fingers at everybody and stuff.
It was a dangerous time.
Very dangerous time. In 1968, this woman gave birth to the devil.
That was my favorite era of New York, perhaps. Really cool.
Late
really
60s
cool.
when the son of the devil was born.
Yeah,
It's
they were all.
interesting-
Yeah.
It's an interesting place. Throughout the 70s, and this is like not even down to the year exactly, but Santa showed up again. There was a lot more crime, mafia stuff in particular. The Corleone family was really making a mess of things. There was a subway robbery. The giant gorilla showed up again. There was a lot of like vigilante rampages, taxi drivers and stuff. This guy, Andy Warhol, was filming people while they were asleep. This nutjob named Woody Allen was running around. Dancing and jazz were still popular. This company started selling food that turned out to be made out of people. Gangs were starting to wear a lot of makeup, and they were roller skating around with baseball bats and stuff in the 70s.
Colorful city.
It's a very strange place. It gets stranger, too, because all this crime was going on. So in the 1980s, they literally turned New York into a prison colony.
How do you get out?
You had to figure out some way of escaping. I don't know. I mean, it was like the whole city was walled off, and the mayor was like the king. The mayor of New York at the time called himself the king of the city.
number one, right? Was it? I think I remember that. He said he was.
Well, this was in the 80s. We weren't born yet, but
Yeah.
you maybe read about it.
Well, I'm glad I wasn't in New York City around then.
Santa Claus showed up again.
Does he go anywhere else?
I guess he just likes the city. Wall Street was really popular in the 80s, of course, in New York City. More vigilantes. There were a bunch of immortal people beheading each other in the streets all the time. There were chuds coming up from the sewers, cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, of course. There were a lot of ghosts in New York City at
Where
the time.
were the chud busters at the time?
Well,
we needed them.
I mean, locally, a lot of the ghosts did get busted.
Oh,
But
yeah,
the chuds,
does.
I don't think we were that lucky. The Muppets showed up at this time. Jason, the hockey mask killer guy, he showed up.
He gets around.
The 80s was a tough time, but unfortunately, I hate to tell you, Jay, it got even worse than that in the 90s.
How does anybody even still live there?
Well, throughout all of this, people are walking around and falling in love and stuff. That's happening too, you know? You're not going to always run into a chud.
Yeah, okay.
By the 90s, the mafia is still in control, but the Corleone family got ousted and replaced by some much nicer guys. Kind of, you know,
Oh, good.
they were pretty good fellas, to be honest.
Good.
More vigilantes. Some of them are ninjas at this point, and they're maybe like they're dressed like turtles or something. It's tough to say. There's fucking some gremlins are running around. There's guys in leather bodysuits with fucking nails stuck into their heads and stuff, causing all kinds of trouble.
So things really go off the rails even more in the 90s.
It's oddly, it's even stranger in the 90s. Yeah, there's these cone head shaped aliens happening.
They were in fucking New York?
In New York. Guess what, Jay? In the 90s, Santa Claus shows up in New York again. Can't get enough of the chili there.
Yeah.
There's these guys that pretended their boss invited them to his beach house even though he was actually dead, and they did that twice and somehow aren't.
It's typical New Yorkers.
This is the kind of things that happen in New York, and it's tough for the police to deal with it because the good fellas have so much control over everything. There's vampires. Godzilla shows up in New York City. The
same Godzilla?
The one you're thinking of. And he's pregnant.
Hold up. He's pregnant?
He's pregnant. A lot of people think they see a lot of aliens, but then they can't necessarily remember. You'll hear a lot of stories where somebody's like, yeah, they were over all the buildings, but then this hillbilly flew right up into them and blew it all up. But then a lot of people can't remember anything.
Wait, is that you're mixing two together?
I was, yes. I mean, those are two different stories that I kind of just compiled.
Sure, no. Will Smith, he was practically got the golden key of New York. City.
So New York. One of the great New Yorkers, Will Smith, absolutely. Let's see. There was another subway robbery of the same subway train in the 90s.
Pelham train?
It was the Pelham.
They should just discontinue that route.
There was these bunch of guys tried to beat up Jackie Chan.
In New York City?
In New York City, in the Bronx, they did it.
Why was he even there?
Movie press conference, probably promoting a movie or something.
Wasn't there some kind of thing? Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of San Francisco, I think it is.
What happened there?
Some trucker got into some trouble. Big trouble.
In China?
Chinatown
specifically. It was in China you were thinking of. That happened in China.
Gotcha.
And the last really big thing that happened in the 90s was that more people in weird leather outfits were running around shooting each other because they were high on red pills.
Oh.
There was a real epidemic. A lot of people taking the red pill and then listening to techno music and just shooting each other in New York in the 90s. Crazy city.
Wow.
And I'm sorry to say, Jay, it got even crazier.
No, please.
At the turn of the century.
No.
The 2000s hit and things in New York City got just frankly bizarre.
Did anything drastic happen in New York City around the start of the 2000s?
Well, they opened a bar where the bartenders dance around on the top of the bar.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And there was this guy, Roger Moore? Or no, Roger Moore was making movies about New York City, and we all liked it.
What are you talking about?
Roger Moore.
He was a Bond guy.
Yes. I'm realizing now I wrote down the wrong name.
Michael Moore?
Michael Moore was running around in New York City, and we all liked it.
We did?
Yeah, most of us liked it. And then also Borat was running around in New York City, and
wow.
most of us liked it, and some of us maybe still do. Also, a talking moose and squirrel hung out in New York City for a time.
They really did that in the 2000s? That's so terrible.
This guy who said he was the son of the devil was running around being like, talking about how he loved chicken and stuff in New York City. King Kong, the gorilla. Again.
Okay, so hold up right there real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So King Kong is like a Manhattanite. He's fixated on New York.
Him and Santa.
He goes to New York. Godzilla, Tokyo.
Yeah, except for the one time.
Interesting. Yeah, except for the one time.
When he was pregnant.
King Kong never visited Tokyo.
Or, to my knowledge, has been pregnant. Actually, King Kong did.
He did, 1963, I believe it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyways. But, yeah, what did I miss here? Bunch of people wearing leather outfits, saying they're mutants or spider people.
That's just normal.
Cloverfield showed up.
Ooh.
This guy walked across a really long wire. Nuts. This group of female friends started talking about how they've had sex while they were in a restaurant.
Wow.
I mean, this city is crazy.
So they had sex, and they were in the city.
Yeah, they talked
they
about
had sex
it.
when they were in the city. Wow.
And they had conversations about how they had done it.
Wow. That's a lot to, like, talk about. Like, I mean, who...
At
what
restaurants.
You kind of don't have much of a life if that's all you have to talk about. I mean, what was it, like a whole TV series they can make off of that shit? Is that... It's like, oh, you had sex, cool. You know, it's...
Yeah. Here's a conversation about how you had sex. I had sex.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, can you believe that
Have you
the same
tried the salsa from...
Can you believe that the same subway train got robbed again?
No.
That's what we really should be talking about right now. Not how we fucked.
Yeah.
Same subway again.
Like, Jesus Christ.
They ought to just retire this one.
Yeah.
Also, cars started turning into robots and fighting each other.
Wow. New York City's pretty crazy.
It's a wild town, man. Hell of a town. That was all in the 2000s.
Uh-huh.
In the 2010s, people in leather outfits were still running around shooting each other. The female friends were still talking about having sex with people, but then I think they went to the desert. Wall Street again. Little blue guys showed up, little yellow guys showed up. Wall Street again.
So
this time there were
start...
wolves.
Oh, really? I kind of get the feeling that they kind of just start doing less new stuff and kind of just going back and doing the stuff that was already done.
It seems like New York City
Like
is kind of repeating itself at this point. Also, I forgot to mention that in the 2000s, museums started coming to life. And in the 2010s, the museums continued coming to life.
I'm sure that was a very funny thing that happened, and a lot of people laughed a lot.
I bet it was, and I bet they kept laughing for over 10 years about it.
Yeah.
More Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 2 or 3 times more happened.
Oh, wow. So kind of just like blasé at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. And ghosts kept getting busted, and guys kept being spiders like 5 more times at least.
Oh, my gosh. They just ran out of ideas, frankly.
And all the Mafia guys are so old now. They're so old.
It's okay. They probably... use like computer technologies to like de-age themselves and look really good.
They must have had to because they're old.
Yeah.
Then in the 2020s, more spiders, more ninjas, more robots, more vampires, more ghost busted. Gangs are dancing again and snapping at each other. The moon attacks us, and then Madam Web.
What a colorful history for perhaps more than any city on the whole fucking planet, really.
Name another place where all that could happen. Name another place.
I mean, maybe L.A.
Nah.
Okay. Nah.
No. One guy escaped from when LA was a prison colony one time. That's it.
Yeah, it's true.
Jay, that's all my research. We got 5 minutes left in the segment.
That was
What do you wanna
very
do?
revealing.
Thank you.
And enlightening.
You know, when you can go through a whole century that quickly.
Yeah.
What a wild city.
I guess that's why everybody wants to go to New York City.
That's why I want to go. I want to meet a chud.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it just kind of feels like they kind of ran out of ideas.
Yeah.
And kind of just started, like, recycling a lot of shit for their city, and we're like, it's okay because we can still make money as a city if we just, like, do this old shit that people liked before
and I
in
mean,
the city.
you know, idiots keep moving to that city.
Yeah, you're right.
So, of course, the city is going to be like,
Yeah.
hey, guess what? There's ninjas still. They're going to promote the ninjas in New York City. And, you know, they're throughout all that also, like, you know, people are walking around and falling in love and stuff. Those things are still happening
all
in
the
New York
time.
City.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah. Did I miss any important headlines from New York City, in your opinion?
No, I think you covered all of them.
Yeah.
I think you got the whole list. Yeah. You know, so we're in Nashville.
Yeah.
A constant theme of being a Nashville person is how many people are always moving here, and it gets more and more crowded, and the traffic gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
It must be something else to be from New. Like, imagine being in New York and be like, "Can you believe all the people that are moving here?"
Yeah.
Like how? Like they couldn't possibly cram more people.
Yeah. And
So that
like,
must be nice in a way.
I mean, the first time I went, I was there for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Saw one person a second time.
Oh wow, that's a surprising that you even saw that. I don't
That
know.
one was surprising to me. I
Yeah.
believe it was on the same day, so we were probably just like traveling in the same direction that day or whatever. But yeah, how could you tell? Is my point.
Yeah.
Which I think is what you were saying as well.
Yeah. Complete and total saturation.
Yeah. It's only a problem here because we're not set up for it.
Nashville needs a damn subway.
We need a subway. We need some chuds. I frankly think a couple of cars should turn into robots that fight each other. A couple.
Traffic is bad enough. We don't need that.
Well, but I'm saying now we got at least 2 less cars on the road.
Sure. And maybe it'll destroy a lot of the other cars.
Mm-hmm.
Clear up the roads a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, they might like punch each other through the Opryland Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's down for months.
So it's a net gain for the city as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
Yeah, but we can't get too Nashville about it here. People don't know what the Opryland Hotel is. Those poor souls.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Nashville. We're talking about New York City.
You're right.
The city that sleeps with apples.
Yeah. Well, it's cool to know a lot more about the history of the city.
Yeah.
It's a very illustrious and full city.
Yes.
History.
A lot of history, a lot of ups and downs.
Mm.
But like I said, throughout the whole thing, people were like just kind of walking around having long conversations. Too long, frankly.
They all just kind of stayed in the city and just went about their business as usual with all that crazy shit happening all the time, didn't they?
Yeah, and they'd be in the middle of being like, honestly, I would like to stop for some ice cream. Whoa! Oh. Another car turned into a robot. This town. Anyway, where'd you go to high school? We'll be right back. welcome back. They got on the plane.
Oh.
Should not have bought the round trip ticket. Guess we'll have a Cinnabon in the airport and then go home.
Is Cinnabon a New York company?
No, it's like an airport thing. Just continuing that.
What if airports where they're completely just their own country?
Oh.
Wow.
Airport National Waters.
Wow.
Wow. We're back. It's New York City. Why New York City?
Question comes a lot funnier. Why New York City? Why did we have to do this?
Why? Now, of course, we know why. Everybody moved there.
Mm-hmm. But
why?
Why the you know? Why?
Why the romance?
I'll show you why. That's why.
That's why. Classic New York City band, the White Stripes. That's right. For me, when we're talking New York City, you gotta talk about Jack White.
Yeah.
What's the best New York City band, Jay?
The best New York City band. I would have to say Talk Talk. And that is as much to do with the fact that I'm not terribly familiar with which bands are officially from New York. But that's definitely one that I know is from New York and I definitely like.
Great. So we'll do it Jeopardy, and you answered Talk Talk, and I'll answer the Jeopardy answer with a question. What is the best New York band that Jay's sure is from there?
Do I have to answer that?
No, I was answering it Jeopardy style.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. What's
Jeopardy? You were saying it all weird.
Jeopardy? What's the best New York band, in my opinion? Talk. Hold on. Heads.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know what? They sound very New York, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
That's funny.
Yeah. And let's go from that of why New York. American punk is born basically, kinda, pretty much, sort of, in New York. Hip hop is born in New York. All these things. New York. It's,
Things.
all these things.
Yeah.
These things.
Yeah.
And these things happen because all these people are bumping into each other and going, hey, you want to be in a band? You want to make a movie? You want to this? You want to that?
So the question is one of differentiation between other cities. We're not asking why a city.
No.
We're asking why New York.
That's right.
And so what? Yeah, really. What's the point of demarcation? Because New York has one. Because it really.
It does.
You know.
It just.
You're right. It's just everything's just.
It's that sound is why New York.
Mm-hmm.
That sound and also these things.
It's all true. Oh.
And, sorry, Chicago.
Yeah, no, Chicago can suck it. Well, well, there's other cities with far denser populations than New York.
Is that so?
Absolutely, yeah.
Who's
It's not
who's
just
denser?
that. Beijing,
Denser.
Tokyo.
Denser. Less melting pot, though. Both places, I assume.
Very good point. Very succinct point. Yes.
Denser with culture than these things?
There probably isn't a city that's as dense yet as diverse as New York City. There probably fucking isn't.
Yeah. Until Metaphiles City is erected.
I don't know. We're pretty niche.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd pretty much just be you and me living there.
There'd be a lot of people who'd be like, why isn't this The Office?
That's the biggest complaint we get.
Yeah. Every day we get these DMs. Hey, why isn't this The Office?
Why aren't you The Office? And it's why I'm kind of have been doing the whole like we're in love with you thing this episode. I'm trying to kind of be a Jim.
Oh, yeah. You got to get in there.
So, but you know what? I really forgot a big aspect of that. Jay, can you say something that's just a little bit off?
I think that New York is full of liberals, and I will never go there. Look at that. Look.
I'm doing a Jim.
I know. Let's get...
Yeah.
On the fact tube, Jim Scarantino's look on The Office. On the fact tube. Oh, that's my friend from back home. Jim. He's not even my friend. I met him like 15 years.
Oh, sorry if you're watching Jim Scarantino. Sorry you had to find out like this. Halpert. Nicely done, Jim. So on the fact tube, we just showed
Jim Halpert's face because you just did it, and so it's a comparison.
The fact tube may have gotten confused and shown me doing it again. I'm not sure. Depends on
Right?
Depends on copyright law.
Okay, yeah.
It may have. We'll find. I mean,
there's a GIF.
We know. I couldn't see it.
You can't copyright GIFs, can you?
I don't know. GIF Halpert. New GIF City, also. Yeah. That's okay. It's okay.
The city that fucks apples. That's right.
Yeah. Hey, do you think Jim Halpert was a Mac guy? Dwight's total PC guy, right?
Oh my god, that fucking Apple commercial that was actually like that. Remember that? It was Justin Long.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The other guy, if I'm not mistaken, very funny
So
comedian,
cringe.
John Hodgman.
John Hodgman?
Yeah.
Hodgman?
And me and John Hodgman are not really good friends.
That right.
No.
So, why New York City? Honestly, really the answer is because it's a very dense city, one of the most dense in the world.
Yes.
But the diversification rating on more than one axis is off the fucking charts.
Absolutely.
So you got all this shit just going. You got the pigeons shitting on the rat, shitting on a smaller pigeon.
Yeah.
It's like a analog for what New York really is. It's not the Big Apple, it's that.
Absolutely. And to take us slightly back to segment 1 to answer the question of segment 3. Again, in my
You can't do that.
limited but not non-existent amount of time spent there, I really think you could spend a year just exploring one block of that city and not get bored.
Sure.
One
I'll believe
block.
that, yeah. I believe that. Yeah.
Not get bored with the places, not get bored with the people, not get bored with the different musics you're hearing pouring out of storefronts and such.
Would you get sick of it? That's the question.
Me, no. A person who wants to get sick of it could get sick of anything, except for this.
That's a good point. If I lived in New York, I would have to become a different person. And I feel like I would, and I would actually enjoy it. But it really wouldn't be my natural self. It really wouldn't.
I think if you lived in New York, you'd be a different guy.
Have to be.
You have to be. But also, the beauty of living in New York City is if you want to, you can just stay in your apartment and watch TV. And a lot of the TV and movies you're going to watch in your apartment are probably about New York. It's going to be hard to get away from that.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Man.
I wonder if people in New York watch stuff that takes place in New York in their house and like
they
it.
do. Oh, yeah. They get off on that shit, man. They're sick fucks. They fuck.
Yeah. And they go like, no, I've been there. That's the corner of 2nd and Marble.
Yeah, Marble. That's right. I want to fuck that apple.
Surrounded by apple cores. Like 2nd and Marble. Meanwhile, I know we're trying not to talk about Nashville, but you watch something that takes place in Nashville, it's like, yeah, they shot Broadway from 3 angles. So they've shown us the whole city.
Yeah. Y'all like country music? Broadway. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's why we started this podcast, because we want to change that.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, the next thing that takes place in Nashville, there's going to be a scene that is shot like looking at us.
Yeah. Podcasting
from very far away.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody watching at home is going to be like, oh, Metaphiles Studios.
Hopefully.
Let's get to the work, huh, Jay?
Sure.
Yeah. Why New York is these things. That's another thing, by the way. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We do the why and then we jump into the work. I think at the beginning of the work we should have to say we should recap the why. Like whatever we decided was the most why, we just restate that.
Sure. I think we
as our final.
I think we usually do.
Okay.
I think we do that pretty often.
Okay. Well, if we do, I'm proud of us. If we don't, let's start.
Okay. Okay.
So, what are the things?
The villain. What's the villain of New York? Silence? King Kong?
King Kong.
Huh?
I think King Kong.
Okay.
Well, but no, not really, because King Kong just kind of shows up in New York and then New York kills King Kong. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really get much done when he's here.
He can never make it in the city. He's not built for it.
No.
He wouldn't survive.
Too much of a pussy hound, for one thing.
That's right. You go to New York City, every girl you meet that you like, you grab her and climb the Empire State Building. You're not going to last too long.
No.
Yeah.
Your arms will get full and tired very quickly.
Yeah, they'll shoot your ass straight off that fucking building, too.
Yeah. The women will.
Yeah. Oh, the villain is 9/11.
Ouch.
That's the villain of New York. Right?
I can't top it.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Okay.
I can't top it.
Moving on.
Moving right along. The lesson, the twist, the fate. The fate of New York is that, and this ain't no jacuzzi bullshit. If I'm up in Pinewood Heaven, I'm going to the New York section right away. Heaven has a New York town in it.
Heaven has a New York town in it.
That would not be a country song.
Jacuzzi for me. Like I said, I'm not really that person deep down.
But you're not from New York, so you don't really know, do you? About these things.
I know that I wouldn't want to be there all the time, but I would find it interesting, which is I'd be in the jacuzzis, though. That's all I'm trying to say.
Nah.
Jesus Christ.
Straight to heaven. If heaven was New York City. If heaven was New York City.
Ooh.
If heaven was New York
Let's have
City.
that over here.
Sure. If heaven was New York City.
Both?
If
Sure.
heaven was New York City. If heaven was New York City. If heaven was New York City.
The lesson?
The lesson of this episode. If you're gonna take the red pill,
Yeah.
probably before you take it, like, shop around and get a good deal on some leather jackets and stuff. Because after you've taken it, you're gonna need those, and you're gonna spend a fortune.
I don't know.
Yep. Uh-huh.
I don't know. I know the lesson for New York.
Can't get a lesson through. What's the lesson, Jay?
Well, that wasn't a good candidate to make it through. To be honest,
This is the life here. I'm not knocking it.
I know the lessons. I need to teach the people. I need to teach you too.
I'm learning every day.
No, that's so funny to me, and I didn't even fucking realize it.
But keep being a taskmaster. It's good.
Yeah.
The lesson needs to be good. So yeah, what's the real lesson?
I had one, but it derailed.
Was it about New York?
Oh, once you go in, you don't leave. That's the lesson. That's a tagline for Escape from New York.
Yeah, that was clear to me.
Once you go in, you don't get out.
Yeah, great lesson. Way better than mine. The twist.
It's a fictional place, and the actual New York City doesn't even exist. You went to fucking Chicago.
I was gonna go similar,
What do you got?
and I think the truth probably lies somewhere in between. New York. I mentioned that like heaven would have a New York town in it, much like New York has a Chinatown and etc.
Right.
New York.
I didn't get that until now. That's funny.
I'm funny. New York City is actually New York town in a larger city, which our brains are incapable of processing.
Oh, wow. Okay, but I got another one.
Okay.
Pace Picani is made in Texas. That's the twist. And it
That's
was
the
just a
twist.
marketing campaign.
That's the twist. And actually, there is not salsa in New York. And when
Never has been.
and when Jerry and George were having their whole exchange about salsa, people like to say salsa, all that.
How does a Mexican person order seltzer? Want seltzer, not salsa.
Classic. Jay, that's the twist.
Okay.
We got 2 minutes left. We once did a whole episode about Seinfeld. We didn't talk about Seinfeld in it at all. So for the remaining 2 minutes, let's just talk about Seinfeld.
Good point.
Let's talk about Seinfeld.
Yeah. Okay. I feel
Yes.
primarily about Seinfeld that it's like a portal into when I was young, that time frame, the 90s. And I recognize a lot of props in like furniture and shit. That I was like, oh my god, that was in my grandma's house or something, or even my parents' house. But then also, it's just New York vibe.
Yeah.
So it's this double whammy of the setting being so fantastic for a show. And of course, I mean, that's not mentioning one of the greatest comedic minds currently living.
Several.
Larry David, yeah.
But yes, him chief among. Yeah. I can't watch Seinfeld lying down or I go to sleep because it's that comforting to me. Because I also watched so much of it as a kid.
Yeah.
Can't watch it laying down.
Yeah. Yep.
I go right to sleep because I feel so soothed.
Mm. Yeah. I also long to
Sorry, I was doing a gym. What?
I long to live within walking distance of a perfect diner.
Yeah.
Along with all my friends. Also in walking distance.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, cool. I could be, hey, let's just go down to the coffee shop. Or
Absolutely.
the diner.
Yeah.
For lunch. Lunch break at work. You can still make it in time. Get back,
Absolutely.
That's just, wow.
Yeah.
It's such a simple thing that so many people take for granted. And, like, even in our current world, even if you did live in New York City, I feel like it just, like, wouldn't work. Would you? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There's another headline from New York where a bunch of dudes did hang out in a diner every day and it was their whole life, but that's something else.
What is it?
We'll have to talk about it in a minute. Yeah. Also, Kramer. This part of the sign off that I say.
It's part of the sign off that I say, Jerry.
The dot on the sweater. Bye.
Metaphiles.
Hello there. It's almost the end of the show, but not quite. I'm Zach Caffrey,
I'm Jason Ford.
and you just watched the episode of Metaphiles that you watched, and now you're seeing this, and it's the part where we say, it's like us, subscribe to us, comment about it,
Get on our shit.
get on it, build a little community with us, you're all a part of it. It's a nice little world we have here.
It's just a big ball of liking and subscribing and comments.
And it's wonderful to do. And you like doing it. You do.
You do.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
And this week, why not make a comment about bye.
Bye-bye.
Metaphiles.